Let's go.
Let's just try to put that ice back in
I've got nothing to hang on to. Alright.
Shoot around. I'll pick it up. Alright. You shut the lid.
Alright. Hang on. Got
Ready?
it?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Put it out. Oh yeah. Now the first thing is, we want to talk about the preparation. We've got a yellowfin here about 30 odd something. Is that with a fish like this, unlike your blue eye or your deep water fish, you don't have to worry as much. But with these guys, because they're semi-warm blooded, the minute you catch it, you've got to gut it, gill it, obviously dispatch it, like look after it, put it out of its misery quickly. So spike it, which a lot of guys do, which we can do, and then gut and gill it. And that's the key, Jim. You've got to get those guts and gills out, because that's the hottest area. In here is where it's hottest.
Let me show you. So in here is where it heats up. So you can get a bag of ice in there. It's awesome. It's got its own cavity to hold it for you.
Yeah. So you get the ice in there and cool it down. And then this one, so that's why we've taken the tail off. We got him in the big 160.
Yep.
So he just fits in, packed him with ice, and then he's set overnight. Now, it was a rather bad gaff shot because Coops caught this one on a stick bait. What happened, Coops? What happened?
Well, we've seen the salaries and everything. We've had heaps of gunnets flying around all night. We've seen the salaries come up, just flying across here, and then we've had a few fly fish. I've done 2 abysmal casts. And then I've just got one bit less abysmal. And I'm just trying to work it back. And the fly fish just jumped across it. And I'm like, they're over there as well. And I went, I'm sitting, and then all of a sudden this yellowfin has just jumped out of the water and smashed it. 2-second fight almost. He took a bit of line and then got straight up to the boat, got the gaff.
Lift him up, bring him up. Whoa! So what we're going to do is show you how we cut up, and what a basic idea is. So once you've prepped it like this, is we're going to stick the knife in here, we're going to run it up there, run it down there, run it round there, take off this whole side, and then take out the wings and everything and do it that way. But we'll go through the process. And the first thing I'm going to do is find my coffee. Now for this one I use a heavier knife, martini again. You're not going to see it from there, but I'm putting the knife in against the backbone and I'm running it up. And if you hit the backbone like that, there we go, through. So that wouldn't have hit against it. And then we're going to run the knife down here, and I'm trying to feel the bone as best I can. And this bit here is your knuckle, and it's all the sinewy, so we actually cut it about here, and that's the end of our cut. So that, well, they say you can, but I don't reckon it's any good eating and stuff like that. But so then we're going to run it up here, same thing. Now again, anything we miss, we're going to take off the backbone with a spoon, or any way we can that we can just remove it. So don't stress too much on being too perfect. And then for this one, I'm going to put the knife in back here, and then I'm going to run that knife up here. Now we're going to lose a bit of meat up here because my gaff shot, but I took the gaff shot early, so we had the fish up really quick, and it was one of those things, do I take a shot, do I not? I gaffed him up the top here. We're going to lose a bit of meat, but it's either that or we're going to miss it. And we end up getting 30 odd kilos of fish in the space of, what did we get him in?
3 minutes.
3 minutes, yeah. So
the bite was insane.
So we're going to cut down there, and that's going to be our wing. And I'm going to cut that out after. You can cut it down further, but this is for this one. So let's flip him over. You got heaps of questions there?
No, because everyone thinks it's sitting still.
They're watching. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to roll him over this way. It's amazing how heavy these fish are. Like you think how big it is.
There's no way to grab him either.
Yeah, especially if you cut the tail off because he doesn't fit. Rightio.
There's not much sinew in that. Oh, I've cut it like that. That's why.
So, same thing again. So you're going to run, I normally like to run the knife in there, use the sickle, And you can see it's soft just on the edge there. Push it in.
Back to him.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm doing the camera as well, so we're just working it up here. We're gonna, and it gets. So you can see I've missed a bit there. There's going to be a little bit of how you're going in there. You can see here where we've cut it there. That's when you bleed it. So you've got to bleed these guys nice and quick. And just following up along that edge. Don't worry too much if you miss a bit. We're going to get it after, because we're going to make sure we utilise everything. Going to run the knife down there. And again, just off that knuckle there. We don't need that last little bit there. And you can feel with a big knife like this, where it goes right into the backbone, and I've just missed a bit there, I can feel it. You can feel you're doing it when you're missing it. You can see there'll be a bit along the backbone there. There we go. So, again, run this one down here like that. That's your belly, and this section here is where you get the highest fat content. But it's the belly itself, so it's across there, which is the toro, which they all love. But it's also the sides and the top. So my favourite part of the fish is this top section here, but you've got to remember that the bottom section of that sits on the top of the stomach. So the bottom section of your shoulder, I suppose you call it for technical words, is actually got the high fat content. And when I learnt when we were doing tuna champions, which is what really kicked all this off to look after fish, it's not a bluefin, I know, but it's a yellowfin, but it's all the same as looking after it, is that we got the guys from, I can't remember what restaurant it was, somewhere anyway, and did all, and it was amazing to watch how they did it all. Tuna Solutions actually sorted it all out. It was great. And when we did the doco night, IMAX. Yeah, IMAX, everything. So then that's it. So then we're going to run the knife down this side, bottom pectoral, just get above, whoop, those bones there, and run down to here. And then we are now, so you just want to, because the knuckle on these guys is quite big, so I'm just going to just work it over, and then I'm lifting up. Just be careful not to get your fingers in there, and you can see there now I'm just pushing up on that knuckle, and as you can see these knuckles are quite big in these guys. So and now I'm gonna, oh, you're gonna do it? There you go, Jim can do the honours. And all it is to get his finger in. It's kind of what we do with all our fish these days. Yeah, it's good. Let's give it to you so I got a bit more in there, so you got something to grab onto. He's gonna lift his finger up, and he's putting pressure on me as I cut on it. Yeah, he's putting pressure on it. It's so wrong. And that's probably a better angle like that. And that one's recording up above. Trying to do it so that I don't... Oh, I just missed a big bit there.
Yeah, that's alright, we'll cut it out later. I'll probably eat it while you're looking.
Yeah, I was going to say, just lift up as high, just straight up, yep.
Yep.
There we go.
Well, we get that.
Yeah, so you can see there's a few bits here that we've missed. There we go. And for the guys that, you know, some people go, oh, that's icky, or that's, you know, being on social, some people will report it and go, oh, that's icky. This is what it is. This is what we're doing to get this beautiful fish on the table. And yeah, it can be a little bit, you know, bloody and, whoop, 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 lift it up, that's it. And then,
Bloody hell, I'm waiting to do it.
I know, it's bloody.
You got it?
Hang on, lift up. That's it. There we go. There we go. You can see there's a couple of bits, but what we do, just run the knife in there, run the knife in there, and that'll go just up. And run the knife in there, just a nice thin knife. And look at this. So you will miss a bit, like I'm not the best, and I'm not making any excuses or anything, it's just what it is. But I like to, this way you don't waste it. So if you do miss a bit, you just trim it off like that. And the thing is, look at this little, look at that off there, and now look at this backbone. It just disappears so quickly. So So yeah, so this is all about not wasting anything. These fish are too precious. And you go to places like the old days at Bermuda and that, and you get there, and half this meat would be wasted. All this beautiful meat.
The problem is people keep them with the guts in to weigh them. It's terrible. We should get away from it.
Oh, it's just shocking. How could... Ooh, almost cut myself. Too eager to cut the meat off and not worry about what I'm doing.
Did we throw the spoon out here?
No, I think I have to send it back inside.
I'll just sit there.
That's all right. We'll come back to it after. And you can just pick away at it. And this is so you're maximising...
Oh man, she's got good fat now.
And not wasting any fish. Like, look at that. That's all. Oop, that's all just beautiful sashimi. Here, run this up in here, or collar as they call it. And then there'll be one bone. You're going to pull in there.
Is that one just there?
Yep. The other side would be easier. Go around the other side and make it easier for you. And then just, I'll lift up and then just cut in towards me there. That's it. No, and I'm pulling at the same time. And there we have it. Ooh. Now you can see a little bit of shit there that we're going to cut off, trim that out. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to get a spoon and we're going to run it up here now and get all the meat out of these little corners and drink my coffee at the same time. So, and again, if you missed a bit, don't stress, because as we've shown, you don't waste a bit. So I'm just running the knife down again, just correcting it, making sure it's all the way. And you can see it there, you can probably hear it bouncing on. And then we're going to hang that tuna frame over the side and go shark fishing. Well, not fishing, we're actually just going to film them. We're going to jump in and film some makos underwater. All right, and then Jim's wife's calling him now, and I'm just doing that same thing. Run that spoon up between these. You can see there, run it down. It's not doing much. Hey, Carly!
No, missed it.
Oh, he's in the bad books. So you can see there, all this beautiful meat that we would have thrown out. So we boned it out, so I've got this thin layer of bones just in here, rib cage, which I'm going to start, and then I'm going to run down the centre here and get that. You can use the bigger knife on these ones, and it's just the same as all other fish. Just work up the inside there, and then just follow the bones around. And then just that we're going to use. You can, a lot of the guys love it. I don't honestly reckon that's the best
The one
part.
with bluefin last time was good.
Yeah, bluefin.
I cooked in the air fryer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So then what we're going to do is, so here you can see the line of bones. So you can see up here, this is where your your dorsal finlets were. So the little bit there, but that's not the bone on that side. So we run the knife straight down on both sides.
Oh, so this one you're cutting it before you take the skin off, unlike the blue ones, just bigger fish?
Yeah, because it's bigger. Because I don't think my knife would actually fit all the way across there. So this is a different way to do it. Good call, Jim. I've forgotten about that.
No, too, if you see, you can probably see in the camera, see the fit it curls up, so you're going to cut through it. And when you cut away, watch it will lay flat on the table.
So then we cut down like that. And then you can actually, with these, I might even do it that way, you chunk it. So if I put the knife down and go that way, that way.
Because the skin is quite thick because they're a big fish, you can see it here.
So what we're going to do is we're going to stake it.
Good for the camera in here.
So then we run the knife down and along, and yeah, the meat is, well, the skin is much thicker.
Yeah, it's easy not to just go through it.
And if I just run that way.
By jinx, Joe.
Yep. No, you haven't. All good. Not yet. And I know this is a lot of work. Like you can see, we've been filming nearly all day today doing this and prepping and doing it all.
We've been drinking coffee and bludgeon.
Yeah, Ord's cracked it because we had too many. Apparently, we're a little bit hypo. What do you mean? What do you mean? And then I'm going to swap to
We're still in single digits.
Yeah, just swap to the other knife because it's a bit. Get that in there. And then just get that.
But like I was talking to you before you put the live on, it's like when we clean the deer down at the old boys' place. If you've got all day, you just don't waste any. And you freeze it and it lasts for so long, you don't have to buy anything.
Well, that's it. This is all about looking after it. And especially with all this COVID stuff now, it's about looking after, you know, and you can see it's peeling off there now.
Oh, it's all the people are going about organic food. It doesn't get any more organic than this.
So there you have this massive steak. So what we'll do then is, do you want to start trimming those down?
I've got a plane over
Hang on,
there.
what we'll do is, so we stake it down to say about that size. And what we're going to do
That's a lot.
is then, and this is for probably, you know, 3 people, but this is the important part, and rather than go through the whole thing, you see all that red meat there? So we just work, and I'm a little bit liberal with it, I admit. And then it goes in, and then it runs
You can see it, yeah.
runs down like that. And I don't mind a little bit.
But we need a mincer.
Yep.
That.
So there you have a beautiful steak, and you can see there, and the fat content's pretty good for that guy.
Yep.
So then we'll slide him in like that,
Yep.
put him sideways,
I can fix it.
and then he's ready to go, or sideways, yep.
If you just keep going, I'll cut up over there.
Rightio. And so then the process now is just going along. I'm going to cut that. There's a little bit here that's a bit of the knuckle, which is from the anal fin. So if you do that, do you want me to cut that one in half?
Oh, no.
We're going to do that. So Jim's going to do it over there, but he's going to do, just as I showed, trim that meat out, cut it down to a manageable size,
And look, we haven't labelled it so we know how old it is and what it is.
which is all part of it, all part of this process. I'm going to get the sharpened knife, and we're going to just keep going down on this fish here. And then you end up with bugger all leftovers. And as I said, we're going to go and do film some sharks next, so that the frame will be used for that. And I try not to put any in the bin. I reckon that's a terrible waste that it ends up in a landfill